Hey guys, it's Tombox here coming at you with a live deck profile in the original set. This is an actual painting of MST. And yeah, I haven't been back here in a while. And for you guys today, I'll be giving you guys a true Draco Zoodiac deck profile for post June 12th ban list. So there's not going to be any fusion substitute combo, there's no Terror Top, no instant fusion, no Norden. And why am I doing it? Well, because I've actually been playing this deck at locals quite a bit, doing very good at locals with this, and I feel like sharing with you guys this deck profile, so I guess let's get to it. Okay, so starting with the monster lineup, I have one Thoroughblade just for additional draws if I do have a Zoodiac monster in my hand. Probably want to throw away the Ram into the graveyard for an extra draw. I have two Whiptails because Whiptail is one of the best utilities. Zoodiac engine side pretty much gives you a free banish. Double Zoodiac Ram. I kind of want to play 3 right now because Barrage plus this card is the nuts. I even kind of want to try out True King Lithos to pop this in another Zoodiac and then revive it and just rip out 3 cards up my opponent's extra deck. But anyways, that's not the point of this deck profile. And a pair of rats, and that's basically the entire Zoo engine. I don't think I need to explain Zoodiac up here, but that's the basic engine right there for the monsters. And additional text, we have one Blackwing Zephyros the Elite, because I do run one Ray Raptor Force Tricks, so I can search her out, because this card plus a Diagram does mean that you can use the same copy of Diagram twice. I played 2 Masterpiece. I kind of want to play 3, but you know, funny enough, today I actually did break by drawing 2 of these and 3 hand traps, and that was one of the worst feelings. But you do want to see this card when you have a setup. You just don't want to have this card when, well, basically your opponent went first and this is the only option you have. Unless, of course, you have the tributes for it, but normally you want a monster tribute because the meta right now is very zoo heavy and Dryden is a huge problem. Dropping this card out is not that hard, but protecting against Dryden, you need a monster first before you get the tribute off. And hand trap lineup, I play triple Ash Blossom Joyous Spring because she is, well, very flexible, but not very good against the regular Zoo matchup, because the regular Zoo matchup, yeah, you're just not going to have the best targets, and she can be played around for the most cases. Do you throw it on like a Broad Bowl? Normally, I only hit like a Barrage, Diagram, and maybe I hit a Broad Bowl if I really know they have nothing, or maybe even a Tenki. But overall, you don't have as many targets now that the Fusion Sub combo is gone, so I kind of want to cut her down by 1, but it does protect you against Kaiju Slumbers, and Kaijus are a thing too, so I kind of need this in the main deck, and you can stop Max C from happening. And I play triple Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit because now that without all the contingency plans and the backup recovery plays from what Zoodiac offered previously, this card can actually just hit the first summon of a rat. Rat uses effect, just pop it. There's no instant fusion to revive it, therefore they need a Barrage. If you have an Ash to pair with it, well, good for you, now that they really just can't go off anymore. So it's actually the game state in terms of resources is a lot simpler, so you don't have to keep track of like 4 cards. You don't need 4 for 4. You don't need that Joran Lockbird as much anymore. And as my last hand trap, it's Max C, because Max C is, well, still can help you win a game or 2, but Max C can also be played around if your opponent is very smart. And into the spell lineup, we have triple Barrage. There's Given because it's a free summon, and it's also continuous spell for ammo. For the Masterpiece, we have triple Tenki because it basically searches for all your Zoodiac cards, and I don't need to explain it. Triple Terraforming for the spell card, triple Diagram, Draconic Diagram, because, well, it's Diagram. It lets you search for your true Draco cards, and that's the other half of the engine anyway. And as for my spell lineup, aside from like the engine stuff, I do run one Raigeki. I just need this. I have no space to not include it in the side deck, and I just want to run this card anyway, so I'm just going to leave in the main deck. And if you don't go first, you're not guaranteed to go first anyway, so Raigeki does put your opponent, on their toes. And speaking of protection, I'm running a pair of my Body as a Shield. Some of you guys might be thinking, like, dude, if you're going to be playing Masterpiece, your Masterpiece should normally be spell immune anyway. And, that's a valid point, but that's not always the case, because traps are also a thing too, and I believe traps are going to come back. So my Body as a Shield can protect me against Mirror Force, can protect also my Rat against, say, I guess a Ghost Ogre, Snow Rabbit, same old Zoo protection, nothing really new on that front. And Body Shield can also, right now, can actually pop a Trident on your opponent's turn when they try to do a combo. So I think Body Shield has more uses now, although I would also consider Book of Moon to actually just turn off the play entirely. And I also run a pair of Chalice. I am not running a lot of spell, in terms of the main deck, I'm not running like spell trap removal. I'd rather just answer it with something, and Chalice can turn off the Trident, unless of course they have the Karen Gorgon, but Chalice is normally pretty good. And finally, I run one copy of the True Draco Heritage, potentially a draw better than the common. If you don't have this card, you can still run the common. It doesn't affect the game matchup that much, unless it's like a mirror match or like against the True King Dinos. And as for the trap lineup, I run 5 total traps, a pair of the True King's Return, and yeah, I want a pair because I do like setting this card, and then on my opponent's turn, use it to get the tribute summon. Use this to pop a monster, therefore I get 2 pops with the 1 tribute summon. So even if my masterpiece actually gets tributed off by Kaiju, for instance, I can at least revive a copy. And this is probably the better of the 2 True Draco engine I'm currently playing. And as for my other stuff, well, there's 1 copy of Imperial Order, because the card just turns off. You basically win more against any opponent that is trying to recover. Taking away all their spell cards hurts a lot, but I have had instances where I started top decking 1 more spells and this basically got me killed. And I'll play 1 Torrential Tribute because if I go first and my board gets broken, at least I have a counter card to basically board wipe my opponent on their turn. Very crucial for me. And if I put a Ram on the board and I Torrential on a Ram, let's just say my opponent is not going to like their upcoming turn. And speaking of another card, I play 1 copy of Mirror Force. For now, I'm just trying it out. I would actually recommend everyone to try out Text because you are taking about like 8 cards out of your Zoodiac, for instance, and does allow you to play more traps. And since most people's main decks don't exactly play spell trap removal, they might have like 1 or 2 copies, but they would prioritize your engine cards more than your back row for most cases. This usually lets you play these cards, and then your opponent sometimes will have to play into them, forcing them to minimize the damage if they can read it, or well, they run into it and they lose their entire board. So that's the entire main deck. And onto the extra deck, I have a pair of Tridents. I think most of the Zoodiac core of the XCs are pretty much the same. A pair of Barbels. I wish I could play 3 because I like the searches. Chaki 9 is very fun to play, especially it does allow for you to do more OTKs. Maybe not OTKs, but push for a lot more damage. Maybe steal a game or 2 by reviving a Ram in attack mode in a Trident. You can pop the Ram after attacking, giving you an additional, say, a Whiptail. And Whiptail comes back, you swing, then you attach the Whiptail onto the Trident. It gets lots of fun stuff to do. And then reviving Ram is like one of the most fundamental things that this card can offer. And then I play a pair of Tiger Mortars. Originally, I played it down to 1, but now that I have to cut stuff out of the extra deck, I put it back at 2 because she has a very important job as reattaching stuff, but also just acting as an additional name to keep additional materials on your more important Zoodiac XCs. Hammer Kong is a very fun card to play, especially during the previous format where there were some instances where I just made a Hammer Kong with 1 material on my own turn, and then I proceed to combo on the other side using Barrage and Instant Fusion, and then my opponent could not use their Trident to pop any of my combo pieces because that Hammer Kong was always in the way, so that they always had to target this, and rather than eventually my Trident that popped his Trident, and then he popped my Hammer Kong, which was very unfortunate for him. And then I have 1 Borbo because I never really use Borbo's direct attack because like with the Zoodiac engine being so small now, you're not going to be able to do too much damage, but it is there for utility and mainly as a name for additional XC's material. Of course, I run a pair of Daigusto Emeralds because Daigusto Emerald is, well, very useful at recycling most of your materials. Now that you don't have Fusion Sub combo, is it still worth going into this monster? Well, yes, still worth it. Although it is only 18 body after you burn out most of the new material. Try to recycle 1 back in when you use 1. And I think one of the most important XCs in the format would be Karen Gorgon. Some people don't even go into Daigusto Emerald, they go into Karen Gorgon and hope that you don't have a board wipe or they protect themselves with a body shield. Because Karen Gorgon, first of all, is not once per turn and can redirect targeting, which is hilarious because Barrage targets a face-up card. In other words, Barrage you can, like, if they have Ram on the field, you can force them to retarget the Barrage instead. Or if they have like a big monster on the other side, you can force them to target that. So that's one thing that this can offer. And Trident, well, Trident is not very good while Karen Gorgon is on the field. If you can establish 2 monsters, you put into Karen Gorgon, the Trident now is basically on the back seat waiting for you to do something rather than choosing the right opportunity to pop your card. I play 1 Raid Raptor, 4 Strix, I guess I can show you a combo in a bit, and 1 Tornado Dragon, because Tornado Dragon is a free MST and it does have a nice 21 body. And into the side deck. My side deck is very tech towards my locals, but I think I could use this as an experiment. I guess I can explain it as like experimentation. So a pair of Cosmic Cyclones, because Cosmic Cyclones are, well, one of the best spell removal right now, especially with all the true Draco stuff in the back that you just don't want to pop. It's kind of like artifact format. Triple D-Berry. Did not main D-Berry because, well, it can be played around, but if people are playing Zoo and you can counter them very well, Barrier just, is the extra nail in the coffin. Pair of Twin Twisters. If you're playing against straight Zoos, don't use Cosmic Cyclone, use Twin Twisters, especially if you're going to be going second. This is mainly to go second and to clear up some of those rogue matchups. Triple Solemn Strike, because if you go first, this is one of the best cards to have. Let's hope that they don't, well, blow it up with a Twin Twister. Pair of Dark Holes. I already made the Regeki, so this is an additional board right for going second. Or depending if you're playing against a Paleo matchup, these are still going to stick it in there just because I need that extra spell to monster removal. 1 Unending Nightmare, because I can tribute it off and it's really good against the True Draco Zoo matchup, and also pretty good taking out diagrams, pretty good at taking out Tenkies and Barrage, so overall a pretty decent card. And a pair of Gamasiels, because if my opponent's playing Masterpiece, I just want to get rid of it. It's very resource intensive to get rid of that Masterpiece without a Kaiju. And there you have it, the deck profile. Let me just show you a quick combo before I go into anything further and basically end the video. Alright, so to show you guys the combo of using a normal summon and using the 4 Strix. So I'm going to start off by normal summoning out the Rapier. These are cards in hand right now. I'm just going to stack them all together. There's 3 whatever, and you have a diagram. Activate the effect of the Zoodiac Rapier, sending the Ram into the graveyard. I'll just put it right here. Putting the Ram into the graveyard. And then now you proceed to do your regular Zoo combo, going into a Board Bowl, attach a special summon, and then you're going to go into a Broad Bowl to get yourself a free search, which is the Whiptail. And then now you're going to go into Chucky 9. Chucky 9 is going to be attached to revive the Ram. So normally you can technically pop the Ram using Draconic Diagram, but if you pop a Diagram now, you're not going to be able to pop the Zephyro. So instead, you are going to overlay an additional material, then put on a Trident. And that way you can have a Trident on your opponent's turn. And this is only if everything goes smoothly. If you get Ogred or Ash, you gotta consider that into this play as well. Use Trident's effect, pop the Ram, and revive the Zoodiac Rapier using the Ram's effect. Now overall, you already used your normal summon so far, and this is stuffing great. Overlay these two into the 4 Strix. 4 Strix effect will be adding yourself the Zephyros the Elite to your hand. So this is your current hand now, and this is the board. Now you play Draconic Diagram onto the field. Draconic Diagram effect, pop the Zephyros to add yourself the Masterpiece. Then you use Zephyros' effect to burn yourself for 400 to bounce this card back. It's an inherent summon, so it's all good. And now that that's on the field, you can replay the Diagram. Diagram effect can now pop either of these. And, well, because it doesn't matter, because it is most likely going to get tributed off. But, this is a higher wall, just get rid of this for now. And then now we can search for either of these. If you're playing a bit more aggressively, a bit more control-y, you can get the True King's Return, so you can prevent yourself from getting your monster Kaiju too early, and you can bring out a monster during your opponent's turn, which could threaten them a lot more. Or if you just want to put it all on the board, you can get True Draco's Heritage. For this example, I'm just going to use Heritage, but normally I would go with the True King's Return. So I add this to hand. Now I play the Heritage, activate the effect of Heritage to do the additional tribute summon. So I'm going to tribute these 2 off, and here we go. And there you go. I still have 4 cards in hand. I have a Masterpiece, a Spell, and Monster Immune, and a Whiptail in hand, so I'm going to attach it to Dryden, and Dryden is basically still live. And that's the combo for now. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit me up with a thumbs up. You can leave a comment down below of what are ways that you would play this deck, and what are your builds. Leave it down in the comment section below, or maybe this deck should die, because Zoodiac should die. And until then, I'm going to proceed to, the end phase. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please drop us a like so we know we are doing a good job, and you can also subscribe to MST.TV for more fantastic videos by clicking on the button on the left. Don't forget to check out our partners at Imperium Duelist. They make really high quality mats, including some of my own limited edition release stuff. And if you want to check out one of our past videos, click here on the right. As always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV, and I'll see you next time.